Oh, there is corona everywhere, but I'm not scared. Corona has changed everything. The skyline is becoming clearer with each passing day. The rivers are visibly purer, and the once endangered flora and fauna is coming back to life. It is so shocking for me. Last year, on this date, everything was normal, like frequent visits to shopping mall, movie theaters, celebrating birthdays with friends, holiday travels, and so on. But this year, everything has completely changed. Wherever you go, you'll have to follow certain rules. But this coronavirus is also a big opportunity for the Indian economy. The post COVID 19 scenario for India does not look as grim as most people deem it to be. Restoring the purchasing power to the populace will preferably be earlier if India trusts the indigenous businesses, and the economic recovery will also be much sooner for our country.
You are right, Akshaya. There are many positive impacts from the COVID 19 crisis that most people are unaware about. But did you read the newspaper yesterday? It said that the effects of the coronavirus have affected the stability of the economy of 150 countries, jeopardizing their lifestyle, economy, and their business. Especially for a developing country like India, its economy is very fragile, and the present situation will only make it worse for the unorganized sectors and migrant labor. Also, according to a survey conducted by FICCI, the crisis is having a deep impact on the Indian business. In coming months, almost one fourth of the jobs are at risk because firms are looking for some reduction in manpower. It also added that the COVID 19 crisis has already caused an extraordinary collapse in the economy of our country.
Well said, Anushka. I totally agree with you and what you said. But then this pandemic helped people realize how important social distancing, sanitizing, and keeping hygienic is. The rate of pollution all over the country has come down. And talking about the vehicles, they appear to be less on roads, and the prices of fuel have fallen down rapidly. As of the beginning of April, the state fuel retailers in Delhi sold around 17% less petrol and 25% less diesel in March 2020 compared to the previous year. This comes after the initiation of countrywide lockdown where all major transportation have been stopped to control and contain the spread of coronavirus. Lower oil prices help to reduce the cost of living. In particular, if a household owns a car or uses other forms of transport reliant on oil. To a lesser extent, all goods should become cheaper due to lower transport costs. Falling oil prices in 2008 and 2015 contributed the lower inflation.
I accept your statement, Mehul. But what will happen to a country's economy if the price of the fuel keeps decreasing like this? There are many factors that are to be considered simultaneously while considering our profitable situation. The country's current account balance is barely negative according to the RBI data at 0.2% of the GDP in the December quarter of 2019 to 20. Though the Indian rupee's depreciation, it has dropped 3.34% against the US dollar. What does this mean then? So let me give an example. One US dollar was approximately equal to 69 to 70 rupees during 2019. But now one US dollar is approximately 73 rupees, which means later on, if we are supposed to buy some goods from America, we are supposed to pay a lot of money to them since our GDP has been decreasing drastically. This will lead to a decrease in the exports brought into India. It also affects companies directly because of the rise in input costs and indirectly through a fall in consumer demand. This is why the fall in global crude prices comes as a bane to India. In parallel, there is a threatening situation in the nation on consumption rates. Cheaper oil and related products should bring down fertilizer prices. This might hurt fertilizer production when farming activity starts in the monsoon season. So even the farmers in our country are being affected even in this way.
That's a good point, Dia. But I think there's still some positive hope like rarer crime rates. Crime rates in Delhi and Gurugram have plummeted in the last 1 month after COVID-19 fear almost paralyzed in the cities. Delhi police have registered only 2,000 cases, including petty theft, robbery, and automobile theft since March 15, 2020. It represents a sharp 42 drop in crime rates in the capital of India. The drop in crime rates corresponds to the reduction in the percentage of vehicle theft, which has given some mental peace to the owners of personal and commercial vehicles, some mental peace in these tumultuous times. A small drop in crime rates has also been witnessed across major cities like Kolkata, Chennai, and Mumbai. The Prime Minister's decision of a complete lockdown for 21 days and the vigilance by the local law enforcement has contributed significantly to the steep decline in the crime rates in several cities and towns.
You say the accidents have reduced, but I can see the aftermath of relaxation of the lockdown. So once this scenario occurs, the youth would think that the roads are empty and they would drive at a greater and faster speed, which would be harmful for them as well as the people around them. Also, have you heard about that solid waste which has been accumulated in high amounts, which on handling directly can result in various types of infectious and carcinogenic diseases, with the waste workers and rag pickers being the most vulnerable. In fact, direct exposure can lead to disease through chemical exposure, as the release of chemical waste into environment leads to chemical poisoning. Due to heavy medical claims, the insurance industries are also being affected. Not only the insurance industry, but also the small and the medium-sized enterprises are experiencing a heavy loss.
I accept your points, Diksha, but one of the main features from lockdown has been the resurgence or importance of the local community. With travel restrictions and working from home, we come to see our homes and working environment through a different lens and discover new features of our own areas. For us, localism and community, what features from lockdown can be harnessed to drive recovery? First has been the focus on people. From businesses trying with government assistance to keep staff employed to the ongoing recognition and gratitude towards frontline workers. Without people, there would be no recovery. So, how might we keep this alive as moving forwards? The pandemic has also acted as an accelerator for innovations across the board. Companies have been forced to rethink, develop new ideas, and new business models. How might we redesign people-centered programs that can drive innovations? The government was elected on a platform to rebalance the economy across the country, and maybe now is an opportunity to make this happen.
Sure, Sanjay, I'll accept all your points, but it all comes with a cost, and the cost is mental stress. The continuous lockdown and working from home has actually caused immense pressure in the minds of people. Particularly when people live in small 10 by 10 houses, it is almost like a jail for 5 or more people living in a family. On top of this, insufficient supply of food and going bankrupt at a situation like this is like adding fuel to the fire. This is not the only negative point. People say that the crime rate of our country has gone down, but to break this truth comes a bitter truth. In the near future, crimes in our country would increase rapidly, especially crimes related to property and money. As we know, people have adapted to online way of living and working. But to the people who are poor and uneducated, like the migrant workers, this is too far out of their reach. So automatically, they would look for an alternative in which they could depend for their survival, in which the one of the options is crime. We can't really blame them for entering crime because they only entered it for their survival. But we have to be careful because of this, because we might be the next victims. Let's just hope that this corona ends soon.
I accept what you say, Roshni, but you know what? There is something good about this pandemic. Now people started realizing that money cannot do everything. Money cannot prevent a person from getting this virus. Before the pandemic, few people had in mind that money is the only thing that can give you happiness. But now they started to realize that money can only buy stuff or make a living out of it and not protect you from something like a virus. And the second good habit is that people started following to eat good, nutritional, and immunity boosting food and not junk food or the outside food. People started to take more spices and started to gradually avoid cheesy foods. Therefore, people are now more hygienic and healthier than they were before the pandemic.
I totally agree with you, Shreya. Well, but one man's dream is another man's nightmare. The financial as well as the business sector is facing a major loss. It has also affected the stock market as people are trying to sell their stocks in much lower rates. In the entertainment sector, like theaters and malls, are facing major decrease in profits. Even the transportation sector is also facing a major depletion in their gains. People say the lockdown has given us more family time, but I would say that lockdown has taken a toll in people's mental health. During the first month of the COVID-19 in China, 35% of the people faced severe mental struggles. As people with pre-existing mental conditions can't visit their therapists or psychologists, they are in immense danger. So I would like to say the lockdown has caused us both physical as well as mental pain.
I totally agree to you, Vishwajit. But guess what? This pandemic has a lot of positive points, like the air is cleaner and the environment is greener. Greenhouse gas emission and pollution levels across the country have fallen significantly. Half a year ago, Delhi was gasping for breath and was one of the most polluted places in India. But today, Delhi is currently enjoying one of the lowest pollution levels in the past decade or longer. The same is true for other metropolitan cities like Mumbai, Kolkata, and even Chennai. Apart from sighting the occasional leopard on the streets of quasi urban Maharashtra and spotting flocks of flamingos in Navi, Mumbai, other wildlife, including mountain goats, fishing cats, birds, and migratory birds, are returning to lakes and water bodies they had once abandoned due to heavy pollution and human intervention. Nature is healing while people restrict their movement outdoors and vehicles retreat to garages and depots.
I totally agree with you, Divya. You have said that people restrict their movement outdoors, but this has massively affected the tourism industry by the spread of coronavirus, as many countries have introduced travel restrictions in an attempt to contain its spread. For example, in India, foreign arrivals in March 2020 fell by 66.4% year on year. The United Nations World Tourism Organization estimated that global international tourist arrivals might decrease by 20 to 30% in 2020, leading to a potential loss of US dollars 30 to 50 billion. In many of the world's cities, planned travel went down by 80 to 90%. Conflicting and unilateral travel restrictions occurred regionally, and many tourist attractions around the world, such as museums, amusement parks, and sports venues, were closed. To conclude, we can say that the COVID 19 crisis has both negative and positive effects on our lifestyle. But let us take this time to work on ourselves and come out of this crisis with a better, stronger, and healthier version of ourselves and hope that the crisis ends soon. Thank you.